Red alert! The 6 signals your body emits before cardiovascular disaster. Have you ever wondered if your body is trying to warn you of an impending heart problem? What if the signs were there, hidden in everyday symptoms that you dismiss as normal? Is there a way to predict a heart attack or stroke months, or even years in advance? Every minute and a half, a Brazilian dies from a heart or circulation disease. It's as if a plane full of passengers crashed every few hours, every day, full of fathers, mothers, children, and friends. The scariest thing is that the first sign is rarely that fulminant heart attack from soap operas, but something much more subtle that you are probably ignoring right now. In this definitive guide, I'm going to reveal the 6 most important signals your body emits when your circulation is begging for help. The number 1 sign will shock most men, as it is a taboo that many hide under lock and key. For women, I'm going to reveal why doctors often mistake their heart symptoms for anxiety or stress. Knowing these signs isn't about creating fear. It's about gaining power over your health and protecting those you love. Let's get started. The treasure map. How to differentiate artery and vein problems in seconds. A lot of people talk about clogged veins without understanding the crucial difference between arteries and veins. This distinction is the key to correctly interpreting the signals your body sends. The arteries are the great avenues of your body, carrying bright red, oxygen-rich blood. They carry essential nutrients from the heart to all organs and tissues of the body. The most common problem in the arteries is atherosclerosis, a gradual buildup of fatty and calcium plaques. It's like a traffic jam that never ends and only gets worse as the years go by. Veins, on the other hand, are the return pathways, bringing the darkest blood ever used back to the heart. Here, the most common problem is thrombosis, the sudden formation of a clot that blocks the passage. Imagine an accident on the street that completely stops traffic without warning. When any of these pathways become blocked, your body sends distinct distress signals. The difference lies in learning the silent language of your circulatory system before it's too late. And what language is this? Let's decipher each of these codes, starting with the lesser known, but extremely revealing. 6. Smooth and shiny legs. The warning sign that 99% of people mistake for aesthetic problems. When the arteries in the legs begin to narrow, blood flow to the extremities decreases dramatically. It's like trying to water a sprawling garden with a hose folded in half. Your body then presents a triad of visual cues that most doctors don't teach you in their appointments. First, you may notice the gradual loss of hair on your legs, especially in the shin area. Hair follicles are extremely hungry for nutrients and oxygen to survive. Without adequate blood flow, they simply shut down to conserve vital energy. What many mistake for genetics or normal aging may actually be a silent cry from your vascular system begging for help. The second visual sign is the appearance of shiny and abnormally fragile skin on the legs. The skin of cinnamon can become stretched, shiny, almost like polished wax, and lifeless. You may also notice a purplish or reddish coloration when you stand for prolonged periods. It is the lack of nutrients affecting the structure and quality of your skin, making it paper thin. The third sign, often overlooked, is changes in the toenails that grow more slowly. They become thick, opaque, and brittle for no apparent reason. It's the same principle. Without quality construction material arriving through the bloodstream, the work is not good. If you identify this triad, less hair, strange skin, and weak nails, understand that this is not just aesthetic. It's a powerful visual alert that your systemic circulation may be severely compromised. And the next sign on our list may be manifesting itself every time you go for a simple walk. 5. The phantom pain. Why your calf may be revealing a deadly secret. The pain in the potato of the leg that comes and goes has a technical name: intermittent claudication. It follows a classic pattern that is one of the most reliable signs of significant arterial problem. You walk a certain distance, and then a pain arises that burns and tightens in the calf. This pain is so intense that you are forced to stop and rest for a few minutes. After the brief rest, the pain completely disappears, as if it had never existed. When you resume walking, the cycle repeats itself. Walking, hell of a pain. Stopping, complete relief. This pattern isn't simple muscle fatigue. It's your calf muscle literally screaming in desperation for oxygen that isn't coming. During walking, the energy demand of the muscles increases dramatically, requiring more fuel. The narrowed artery, however, cannot deliver the blood necessary to meet this growing demand. And why does this happen specifically in the calf and not in other muscles? Because the calf is one of the muscles that works the most during normal walking. In addition, it is geographically distant from the heart, being one of the first areas to suffer from a lack of irrigation. If you feel this type of pain, don't dismiss it as simple muscle fatigue or old age. There is a simple, non-invasive test called the ankle brachial index that can confirm the problem. This test compares your ankle's blood pressure to that of your arm, revealing significant blockages. If the pressure on the ankle is much lower, it is mathematical proof that there is a relevant arterial blockage. But there's an even more alarming sign that can emerge suddenly and demands immediate action before it's too late. 4. The danger of asymmetry. When a swollen leg can become a death sentence. Swelling and pain in just one leg is the classic sign of a potentially life-threatening condition: deep vein thrombosis. The key word here is asymmetry. A leg suddenly becomes swollen, hot, and reddened. That leg also becomes sore to the touch, while the other remains completely normal. The contrast between the two legs is stark and impossible to ignore once you know what to look for. This is not a common swelling caused by standing for too long or fluid retention. It's a specific sign that a clot may be forming in the deep veins of your leg. Deep vein thrombosis is like a silent, ticking time bomb in your body. When detected in time, it can be treated. When ignored, it can be fatal in a matter of hours. The perfect storm. The invisible triggers that multiply your risk by 400%. There are specific triggers that create the perfect storm for dangerous clots to form. The first is prolonged immobility during long plane trips or after surgery. Standing still for hours causes blood to stagnate in the veins of the legs, increasing the risk of clotting. The use of certain hormones, such as birth control and replacement therapies, can also be a critical factor. These medications increase the natural tendency of blood clotting in predisposed people. Smoking exponentially multiplies this risk, being one of the most dangerous factors for vascular problems. Another factor that is often underestimated is the large, tortuous varicose veins in the legs. They are not only an aesthetic problem, but areas where blood circulates more slowly. This slow circulation creates the perfect environment for dangerous clots to form. The real danger of deep vein thrombosis is not only localized pain in the leg. It is the risk of the clot coming loose, turning into a deadly projectile in the bloodstream. This clot can travel to the lungs, causing a sudden and often fatal pulmonary embolism. If you or someone you know experiences these symptoms, don't wait to make an appointment with your doctor. This is a medical emergency that requires immediate care at the nearest emergency room. Every minute counts when it comes to a clot traveling through your circulatory system. 3. The secret code. How heart attacks manifest differently in men and women. Chest discomfort, known as angina, is the most famous but also the most misunderstood cardiac warning sign. Classic angina manifests as chest pain or pressure that arises during physical exertion. You walk up a hill, carry a weight, and feel that nagging pressure that relieves when you stop and rest. It's the muscle of your heart, the most vital organ in the body, saying, "I'm working with insufficient oxygen." This is the typical presentation in men, but for women, the story is completely different. For decades, medicine has studied heart attacks exclusively in the male body, creating a dangerous bias. Women often die of heart attacks because their symptoms are mistaken for anxiety, stress, or digestive problems. A failure of the medical system that we urgently need to correct. In women, cardiovascular warning signs include sudden, overwhelming fatigue. It is not a simple tiredness, but a feeling of being completely drained of energy for no apparent reason. Many report shortness of breath during activities that were once easy, such as making the bed or sweeping the house. The pain can appear in surprising places: on the back, between the shoulder blades, in the jaw, or in the stomach. Nausea, dizziness, and unexplained cold sweat are also frequent signs of heart problems in women. If you, a woman, experience this combination of atypical symptoms, especially if they worsen with exertion, seek help. Don't allow anyone to dismiss your symptoms as just stress or your head thing. Trust your intuition and demand a complete cardiac evaluation, as it could be your heart crying out for help. And there's another vital organ that sends early signs of circulatory problems that many mistake for another condition entirely. 2. The memory thief, when oblivion is not Alzheimer's, but something much more insidious. Your brain is a veritable powerhouse, consuming a staggering 20% of all the oxygen you breathe. When the arteries that feed it, such as the carotid arteries in the neck, begin to clog, the energy supply plummets. This not only causes simple forgetfulness, but can lead to what we call vascular cognitive impairment. The affected person becomes slower to process information and make decisions that were previously considered simple. You may notice unexplained mood swings or a growing apathy toward once pleasurable activities. Many families and even less up-to-date doctors immediately think of Alzheimer's when they see these symptoms. The crucial difference that can save your mental health is that while Alzheimer's is a disease of the brain's wiring, vascular impairment is a problem of the plumbing. This distinction isn't just semantic. It's the difference between an inevitably progressive condition and something treatable. The vascular problem can not only be treated, but also prevented with lifestyle changes. The health of your brain is a direct reflection of the health of your arteries throughout your body. What is good for your heart also benefits your brain, and this simple principle can preserve your lucidity. If you or a family member is experiencing cognitive decline, do not accept a diagnosis without a complete vascular evaluation. Imaging tests of the arteries in the neck and brain can reveal the true cause of the problem. And finally, we come to sign number 1, the taboo that few have the courage to discuss, but which may be the first alarm to sound years before a fatal heart attack. 1. The taboo that saves lives. The first alarm that goes off years before a heart attack. The earliest and most powerful warning sign for men is something that few openly discuss: erectile dysfunction. This is the real canary in the coal mine for male cardiovascular problems. Erection is a purely vascular event, depending on an intense and rapid blood flow. The arteries of the penis are extremely thin, much smaller than those of the heart or brain. As a matter of physics, they tend to clog up first when the atherosclerosis process begins. Thus, erectile dysfunction, especially when it arises gradually, is not primarily a masculinity problem. It's not about virility or psychology, but a plumbing problem that can announce a heart attack or stroke 3 to 5 years before they happen. If you or your partner is experiencing this problem, the most important conversation may not be with the urologist. A cardiologist should assess your overall cardiovascular risk before it's too late. This is a precious window of opportunity that cannot be wasted for shame or taboo. For women, the equivalent of this early sign is painful cramps in the legs or feet during rest. We're not talking about the pain after intense exercise, but that agonizing cramp that wakes up in the middle of the night. That pain that makes you jump out of bed, trying to relieve the unbearable muscle spasm. Most people attribute these cramps to a lack of potassium, magnesium, or dehydration. But when they become frequent, the cause can be much more serious than nutritional deficiencies. Having cramps at rest can mean that the obstruction in the arteries is so critical that blood does not arrive even during rest. It's your body literally screaming at the maximum level of alarm, with nowhere else to run. If this happens frequently, it is not normal, nor should it be treated with potassium or magnesium supplements alone. It's a red flag to probe deeply into your vascular health before it's too late. The Saving Trinity. 3 simple habits that unclog your arteries naturally. Now that you know the signs, you have the power of knowledge in your hands. Let's turn this knowledge into concrete action with 3 fundamental habits that can save your life. First, move intelligently, not just intensely. Wherever you are, sitting or standing, do a simple exercise. Go up and down on your toes 20 times. Repeat this several times a day as it activates the calf pump, our second heart. This simple motion squeezes blood from the veins upwards against gravity, significantly improving circulation. Second, feed your arteries with purpose, not just for momentary pleasure. Include foods that naturally relax blood vessels, such as fresh garlic, in your diet. Beetroot, rich in nitrates, works as a potent natural vasodilator that improves blood flow. Dark leafy greens like kale, spinach, and arugula are rich in substances that protect the inner lining of the arteries. Third, control the chronic stress that silently destroys your arteries day after day. Practice meditation, deep breathing, or find a hobby that completely absorbs your attention. Stress releases hormones like cortisol that damage the delicate lining of the arteries, creating perfect spots for the fatty plaques to attach like Velcro. And of course, there are two non-negotiable pillars. Quitting smoking and controlling weight are fundamental for vascular health. These are not extreme measures, but rather the basic maintenance of your cardiovascular system. Just as you regularly take care of your car, your house, or your cell phone, your body deserves that same constant attention. His heart pumps tirelessly, about 100,000 times a day, without asking for anything in return. The slightest caregiving attitude you take today can mean extra years of healthy living in the future. Think not only of yourself, but of everyone who depends on you and your health to be happy. Now that you know the signs, you have the power to act before it's too late. Don't wait for disaster to treasure the treasure that is your perfectly functioning cardiovascular system. Share this knowledge with those you love, as this information literally saves lives every day. Health is not just the absence of disease, but a state of complete well-being that begins with small daily choices. You have this power in your hands from now on. Use it wisely and decisively. Your best version, healthiest and most vital, is just waiting for your next decisions. Remember, taking care of your heart is not a sacrifice. It is an act of self-love that benefits everyone around you. Your journey to seamless circulation starts now, with the knowledge you've just acquired.